Other one after that?
-4.
-4. Okay. After that?
-2.3.
-2.3. Okay. Is 7/3 -2.3? You check. I don't know which one is correct. After that?
-1.5.
Minus
1.5.
-1.5. After that? Must be 1.
1.
After that?
0.667.
0.667. After that?
And then 0.43.
0.43. And the last one is obviously what? 0.
It's not 0. It's not 0.
Value ranges from infinity to 0. And yes, we ignore minus sign here in each and every case, because this minus sign only shows the inverse relationship that exists between price and quantity. Now you check your answer. If you have drawn the figure, I had asked you to draw the figure according to the scale. Suppose this is 10. This is also 10. I'm not going to draw according to the scale, but if you draw the curve, okay, this is price, this is quantity, this is origin. Now, what will happen here is, this point will have what elasticity? Okay, before that, are you clear? Yes, if you plot this, yes, table on the graph, you'll create this type of curve. Do you agree with this? Luzin?
Sure. Yes, sir.
So this type of curve, yes?
Yes, sir.
Now we are going to check what type of elasticity it has. Okay? Now, at this point, what type of elasticity is there? When the price is 10, what is the elasticity according to our working? At this point, it is infinity. And somewhere, yes, what it is? -9. The value goes on decreasing. We don't need to. We can simply ignore the minus sign. So it will be only 9. So in the midpoint will be 1. And this point will be 0. So on the basis of this, what the conclusion can be drawn? This type of straight line, which we call linear homogeneous demand curve, this possesses all the 5 elasticity. Yes? Now, my question to you, unitary price elasticity demand I was doing in the previous class, which is the figure for the unitary price elasticity, A, B, or C? Avinam? Avinam? Jishan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyway, what is the answer, A, B, or C? If the price good is unitary price elasticity of demand, which is the correct figure?
B.
Okay, let me move on to Sabine. Aditi, what's your answer? No one responding. Why? Aditi? Aditi?
Sir.
What is the answer? A, B, or C?
Sir, A.
A is the answer.
Yes, sir.
Senchen?
Yes, sir.
What's your answer?
Sir, B.
B is the answer. Okay. Sophia?
Sir, A.
Okay, you are still in A. Okay. Samir?
Sir, B.
B? Okay. Subhan?
Sir, B.
Gagan?
Sir, B.
Yes. A cannot be the answer. Whoever said A, it cannot be the answer. Yes, I think you didn't work on the assignment that I gave you. Is this and this figure are identical? Means it cannot be. For the unitary, the value must be equal to a 1 at each and every point. But here, what we know, the value keeps on decreasing 1. It starts from infinity, -9, somewhere it will be 4, somewhere it will be 7/3, another will be 1.51, and after that 0.667, after that 0.43, after that it will be 0. That means each and every point on the linear homogeneous demand curve has different price elasticity of demand. That means this figure is incorrect in the sense that it possesses all the values of the price elasticity of demand. Now, so if we start working on it, okay, for this figure, this is the figure for unitary price elasticity of demand. This is price, and this is quantity, this is origin, this is the demand curve, and this type of demand curve has a name in mathematics. What is the name of that? If the shape of the demand curve is rectangular hyperbola, what does it mean? What does it mean, rectangular hyperbola?
It does not touch the y, either y-axis or no, neither
Very
y.
good in math than me. Okay.
It neither touches y-axis nor x-axis.
It neither touches y-axis nor
Yes, y-axis.
if I say rectangle, yes, one of the feature is, but why? Yes, you are right. But why it is called rectangular hyperbola? Okay, let me tell
Sir,
you.
because at every point the value, the PED will be the same.
Okay, but why are they using the term rectangular? There is something associated with that. Yes, Sophia? Okay. You draw any point you choose and draw vertical and the horizontal, yes, like this. You check the area and rectangle. All these rectangle values are equal. You got the point? Whatever the point you choose, and if you draw the rectangle from that, the value in each and every case will be equal. That's why it is called rectangular hyperbola. Any point you choose. And another, okay, in this case, what will happen to your revenue or the income when the price of the good decreases? We can check elasticity in terms of price or revenue or expenditure method. Revenue or of calculating price elasticity of demand. With the decrease in price, if your total revenue or the expenditure increases, what type of good it is? What type of elasticity the good has? In order to tell you, yes, revenue, there is a good link between revenue and expenditure. Revenue is equal to expenditure. Suppose you visited Kamana Books and you purchase something. You purchase the goods equivalent to rupees 1,000, that is your expenditure, and Kamana receives, yes, rupees 1,000 is the revenue. So from one perspective, it is revenue, and from the other perspective, it is expenditure, which is same. Now, let's check price, quantity demanded, total expenditure. Suppose 20 is the wait. Okay, let me take one value. Quantity demand 1. If the price of a good is 50, quantity demanded is 1, what will be the total revenue or total expenditure? The price of a copy is rupees 50 and you are purchasing one copy. Your total expenditure will be 50 rupees and the revenue of the Kamana box will be 50. So it is 50 for both. Now let's decrease the price to 40. Not necessarily be copy here. You decided to purchase 2 copies, units of goods, and your expenditure on that good increased. Further decrease the price to 30, your You see, with the decrease in the price, your total expenditure on that good is increasing. What type of good it is? Now, my question to you. Danish, is it relatively more elastic, unitary elastic, or relatively less elastic? Danish? Senchen?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you are going to purchase a commodity, okay, and one way to check the commodity whether it is elastic or inelastic, we do on the basis of the total revenue you pay or the expenditure you made or the total revenue a firm makes. With the decrease in the price, your total revenue expenditure on that commodity increases. What type of good it is? Is it relatively more elastic, unitary, or relatively less elastic? More, less, unitary. Okay, there is confusion. Okay, Diksha.
Sir, it's relatively elastic.
It is relatively elastic. You are very good. Yes, you are very right. What happens if a good is price, you purchase more? As a result, your total expenditure on that commodity increases. This can be shown in one way. Okay, I'll use the simple figure that we did. Whatever the figure demand curve is shown, what type of elasticity it is? Suban,
Sir, we are relatively more elastic.
elastic, okay? Now let's suppose, now decrease the price. This total area is OP into OQ becomes what? Total expenditure or total revenue. OP is the price, OQ is the quantity demanded. If you multiply with this, well, what happens? This is total expenditure or revenue. Now the price, or I'll give you one value. Suppose the price is 5 and you are purchasing 100 units. What is your total revenue? 500. Now you decrease the price to 4 and you purchased how many is 150 units. What happened to your total expenditure? How much it became? Yojana?
Sir, 600.
600. Yes. What happened to your total expenditure?
Sir, it increased.
So if the good is relatively more, now before that, okay. This is one area. Which area is greater? This is the new area. And the previous area is there. According to the figure, which area is greater? Krisa. Samir?
The second one, sir.
Second one is greater. Which shows increase in total revenue or total expenditure, because it's really more elastic. What I'm trying to tell you here is, if the commodity is relatively elastic, if the price decreases, then your total expenditure on the commodity increases. That type of good, we call it relatively more elastic. What type of commodity with the increase in the price is relatively elastic? Sabine? Hello, Sabine, do you hear me? Only raising hand, sorry. Okay, Abhinam, do you hear me? It's okay? Abhinam? Okay. Jishan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is this Jishan? Okay, Jishan, what will happen to the total expenditure in the case of a good if it happen to the total expenditure? If the good is
Sir, it decreases. Decreases.
sorry?
Decreases. Total revenue decreases.
What is happening these days? Gold price increase. What has happened? The total revenue of the seller of the gold has decreased. Elastic. If the price decrease, their total revenue will increase. So if you are selling, if you are a seller or a business, if you want to sell or increase your revenue and your product is relatively more elastic, what decision will you do? Will you increase the price or decrease the price? Ayusa,
Yes, sir.
my question, you got the question?
No, sir.
Okay, let me repeat the question. Suppose, Ayusa, you are a businesswoman. You are selling a particular good and your good is relatively elastic. You want to do increase the price, decrease the price, keep the price constant.
Sir, I lost you from, you said that the goods that I sell is relatively elastic, and then what did you say? I lost you.
Is the total revenue from that good? You want to increase the total revenue from that good. Revenue, what you should do? Price, keep it constant or decrease the price to increase the total revenue.
Decrease the price.
Why?
Because it is I don't know. I think increase the price.
You feel increase the price. Okay. Okay, seems confused.
Yes.
Many student gets confused here, and this is exactly applies in the balance of payment, import and export. This concept will be necessary. That's why I'm giving much more time. If the good is related, total revenue will increase. Sure? Suppose Kamana is selling the book and the good is relatively more elastic in the market. If I want to increase or if Kamana wants to increase the revenue from that good, what it should do? Lower the price. Yes, it can be seen from the figure also that by decreasing the price, total revenue increases. If they increase the price, total revenue decreases. So this is the thing. Now, if the good is relatively inelastic, okay, what will happen to the total revenue with the decrease in the price? Let's see the total expenditure method. Price, quantity, $21. Total expenditure is 20. Now price decreased to 9. But what has happened to the total expenditure or revenue? It has decreased to 18. 3 decreased to 5. Total expenditure decreased to 15. 3, 4, 12. So here what you see is with the decrease in the price, what is happening to the total expenditure?
Decreasing.
Decreasing, then what type of good it is?
More inelastic.
Inelastic, sir.
Inelastic, yes. Because with the decrease in the price, your demand doesn't increase. Even if your demand increase, what happens? Your expenditure on that good decreases. A good is said to be relatively inelastic if with the decrease in the price, the total expenditure or the revenue decreases from it. On the other side, if in case of the good is relatively inelastic, if you increase the price, what will happen to the total revenue? Diksha.
Sir, could you repeat the question?
Diksha?
Sir, could you repeat the question?
Suppose the good is relatively inelastic and the price of that good increased. What will happen to your total expenditure on that good?
It increases as well.
Total expenditure increases. Okay, if we look from the revenue or expenditure method, a good is said to be relatively more elastic when the price relatively more elastic when with the decrease in price, total expenditure on that good increases or when the price of the good increases, the total expenditure on that good decreases. Okay, let me ask one of you. Saksham, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. According to revenue or elasticity method, what type of goods are called relatively more elastic goods?
Those goods whose price, if price will decrease, then the total revenue will increase, I guess. Or those
Sorry, I
goods.
didn't hear.
So, what was the question? My network problem is there. So,
There is problem.
with my net, sir.
Do you hear me properly?
Sir, question, would you please repeat?
Okay, my question is, in case of relatively more elastic goods, what will happen with the decrease in price? Or
There will be increase in total revenue.
total revenue. Yes, according to that method, what is the definition of price elasticity of demand?
Those goods whose, if there's, what do we say?
Those
Those
goods
goods
whose total revenue
increase.
increases with the decrease in price,
Yes, sir. That's what I mean.
or whose
Total expense.
price, sorry,
Sorry.
or whose price, okay, let me, yes, I'll make it this clear. This is what type of elasticity this figure has?
Every type of, sir.
So this is every type. Okay, then. Okay, let me, this one is relatively less elastic. This is price. Let's check the area. This is one area. OPEQ. Let's decrease the price. OP dash, E dash, Q dash. When the price was OP, what was the total area? OPEQ, that is the total revenue, was the OPEQ. With the decrease in the price, what happened to the total revenue in the figure? Krisa,
Decrease.
decrease. If with the decrease in the price, if the total revenue decreases, what do we call it? What type of good it is?
Inelastic.
Relatively inelastic. The
Yes.
same figure can be looked from the different perspective. With the increase in price, suppose the original price is OP dash and OP dash, E dash, Q dash is the original total revenue. Now the price increase. What happened to the total revenue? The total revenue also increased. So what we can say, if with the increase in the price, total revenue increases, or decrease in price, total revenue decreases, that type of good is said to be relatively inelastic. Increase in price, total revenue will increase, but with the increase in price, total revenue from that good will decrease. Now the third condition, for unitary elasticity, with the change in the price, what will happen to the total expenditure? For unitary goods or unitary price elasticity of demand, with the change in the price, what will happen to the total revenue?
No change.
It will remain same, sir. No change.
It will remain Same. Okay, let me do price, quantity, total revenue or total expenditure. Price is 60, quantity demanded 160. You decrease the price to 30, quantity demanded is 2, it is again 60. This is 20, 3, 60. This is 15, 4, 60. If the total expenditure remains same with the change in the price, what do we call it? If the total revenue or what type of good it is?
Unitary elastic.
This is unitary elastic. Okay, this is price, this is quantity, and here you see, as I said, rectangular hyperbola. All this area will be equal, means total expenditure or total revenue will be equal. So this is the case of unitary elasticity. Now I have a question. How much 2 years? Attention, you paid to my quiz. I'm going to the teaching. I'm going to ask you one question. And after that, today's class will be over, and I'm going to ask this question to each and everybody now. Okay. So, okay. According to the figure, you check. Everybody, I'm asking, what type of good it is? What type of elasticity the good has? The figure that I have drawn, what type of elasticity it has?
Perfectly inelastic.
Who said this one?
One.
Good one. Okay. Abhinam? Jishan, what's your answer?
Perfectly elastic.
Perfectly elastic. Okay. Nirajan?
Perfectly inelastic, sir.
Perfectly
Sir,
inelastic.
unitary.
Who
Perfectly
said that?
elastic.
I said it.
Who is that I?
Sophia.
Okay, Sophia. Nirajan, you said. Luzin?
Sir, perfectly inelastic.
Perfectly
Sir,
inelastic.
it's
Sabir?
perfectly elastic. I was confused.
Okay, perfect.
Perfectly inelastic.
Sir. Sabir, what's your answer? Ayusha?
Sir, unitary.
Aditi?
Sir, perfectly inelastic.
Victoria?
So perfectly inelastic.
Sanchin?
So unitary elastic.
Sophia? Okay, already said. Sandesh?
Perfectly inelastic.
Sumnima,
Perfectly inelastic.
Krisha,
So unitary.
unitary. Samir,
Unitary, sir.
Yojana.
So unitary elastic.
Okay. Saksham,
Unitary elastic, sir.
Avi,
So perfectly inelastic.
Ji, Sampada,
Sir, unitary.
Diksha,
Perfectly inelastic.
mm-hmm. Gagan.
Sir, perfectly inelastic.
Okay. Perfectly inelastic is not the answer. Okay. Why? Sophia, why unitary?
Sir, because in sir, this is the the x-axis is total expenditure, not quantity demanded. So in unitary elastic products, the
Hmm.
total expenditure is equal. So the no matter what the price is, the total expenditure is same. So that's why we have that curve, straight curve.
Very good.
Okay.
Whatever the change in price, total expenditure, which is indicated by this TE. And in order, we normally write here D, but what happened, in order to make you the thing clear, what I did was, I wrote total expenditure here also. If the total expenditure remains the same with the change in price, that type of demand is called unitary elastic demand. Okay, is there any question?
Sir, can't it be perfectly elastic?
It could have been perfectly inelastic if it had been quantity he this side and this had been demand.
Sir, perfectly elastic.
How can it be perfectly elastic? There is no way, because with the change in the price, perfectly elastic means the change in minor change in demand causes infinite change in quantity demanded. That is perfectly elastic. But here, total expenditure is remaining constant, and I did from the total expenditure method. There is no at all connection between perfectly elastic and this figure. Any other, please? So now we'll be meeting on
Monday.
Monday, and I guess I'll have some question related to this figure, that is elasticity, whether it is relatively more elastic, less elastic on Sunday. Please come prepared. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you
Good
and
night,
good night.
sir.